Hi everybody! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Simona, and today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a different thing. I had a request by one of my YouTube followers on how I make the pins that go on my phone cases. So for example, I have this little chopper Jolly Roger pin and this Robin Jolly Roger pin, as well as in all of my custom cases that I make for customers. If they want a specific character on their case, I make pins. So I'm going to show you today how I make pins using my pin machine. So before I get started, this specific button pin making machine was purchased on Amazon, and it makes pins that are 1.5 inches. Wrong, they're 1.25 inches, I think. Now I have to get a ruler. When you purchase the pin machine, it comes with everything to make 1,000 pins, which is a whole lot. Comes with a lot of things. Now obviously you're gonna mess up a couple of times, and I'll show you how it's possible to mess up. You lose a couple of them, so it's never gonna be exactly 1,000 pins, but it is a good place to start. I recently reordered a set of pins so that I can make 1,000 more. And I noticed this when I purchased this pin machine, but this pin making machine, I think I got it at $85, and guess how much the replenishment of 1,000 pins cost? Cost $60. So the machine, if you're taking the price like this, is technically $20, and what's expensive is the parts to make the pins. It's they have a thing going on here, making some money, and I see it, and it's not that I don't like it, it's just, it's a little, you know, a little fishy. Anywho, let's get on with this, guys. Comes in a box with the handle taken off. As you can see, you can spin it. It comes separately in a nice Amazon box. You put it together, and bada bim bada boom. I don't think I had to put anything else together on this guy, but I'll show you now. The mechanisms are pretty simple. If there's anything that I had to place, it was... So, let's hold this up. I'm so strong. It has a little thingy that moves back and forth. Has 2 chambers, right? And how this machine works, which I'll show you right now how it works. First mechanism, and then this lovely little thing just slides over, and you have the second part of the pin making. You could probably watch a much better video that shows you how to do this, but you clicked on this one, so congratulations, choosing the hard path. As I said, when you purchase at least this one, it came with enough pieces to make 1,000 pins. So what are these pieces? First things first, we have the metal backing. So if you look at my pin here of a little Minecraft bee, if you want the story of why I have this, I'll tell it to you right now because it's my video. So somebody was going to order a Minecraft bee phone case, and I preemptively made this pin for them, and then they ghosted me and never ordered the case. So that's why I have this very specific Minecraft bee. This metal backing is something you don't see in the final pin, but it is the hard. You have the image, and behind it there is a metal plate. On top of the image, there is a transparent, you know, little guy right here. And then on the back of the pin, you have, this machine came with plastic backings. I know you can purchase the metal backings as well. And the pins that I'd be selling for people to actually wear or put on their purses or bags or stuff, I would recommend to have the metal backing. But for the decoden cases, I have found that having a plastic backing is the best because it doesn't have any reaction to the silicone and there's less of a chance of it getting rusty and gross and icky. So this is a good thing for me. But if you want a metal backing, I don't know if they sell machines that have a metal backing for their pins. I know they definitely sell like sets of this metal plate and metal backings. I know that they sell that. I have purchased it before and I just purchased it once to see. As I said before, they're kind of making their money on selling the replenishments of parts, you know. So the backing, this is what it looks like attached to the pin, but what it looks like normally is like this. So it has two sides. It has the side where the actual pin, you know, the owie part. the owie part, you know, you will prick yourself with this part. It has that, and then and it has a lip, if you can see. It has the side where the actual pin is, like think of a safety pin, the part where you hook and unhook. It's so difficult to show. And then on the other side, it has the back side of it that kind of looks like a zigzaggy wire, right? And this backing is flat. And sometimes it has a ridge into it, but most likely it's flat. So how you want to sandwich your pin together is very simple. The machine does all the work for you, but just making sure that things are facing the right way is step one to not messing this up. You can mess it up and you can break this machine. The machine is not indestructible. You just have to make sure, be conscious, you know, be paying attention to what you're doing and you'll be fine. As I said, you have two chambers here. You have the one that is on the left and the one that's on the right. Ta-da! On the first one, if you look in here, the insides of the two mechanisms are slightly different. And I have found that every once in a while you do want to go into here with a rag. I actually use this glasses, like the ones that you use to clean your lenses on your glasses, you know. I use one of these and I clean into these guys because you want to make sure that there's no dust in here and in here. If there is dust, the pins get messed up and then you can't use them and then you're sad and you can't reuse those pieces to make more and you're just sad. So we don't want that to happen. So make sure that you are keeping your machine nice and clear of any dust. I do end up getting dust, like, you know, it's good to clean your machine, okay? Mine's not very clean right now, don't judge me, okay? It's a very dusty room, okay? Clean this often. This is a judgment-free zone, okay? First things first, you want to design your pins and have them cut out to a specific size. Usually when you purchase this machine, it comes with a rinky-dinky, horrible little cutting mechanism that never works. And what you want is you want whatever design you have to be printed out and cut into a circle. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle. And that circle has to be the size of the transparency sheet, if not a little tiny bit smaller. If your paper is cut too big, it's going to stick out from behind here and it's just gonna mess the whole thing up. So you don't want that. Your machine tells you the exact size that this, in diameter, that this circle needs to be. Diameter meaning the distance from one edge to the other. In case you didn't know what the diameter was. Now you know. So my shirt's on inside out. This machine, since it makes pins that are either 1.5 inches or 1.25 inches, I know for a fact that my paper needs to be a diameter of 1.75 inches or 1.75 inches. Don't ask me what that is in centimeters. Google can answer that for you. I love the metric system. I wish I used it, you know. I talk to my parents in inches and they're like, what? And then I'm like, let me Google that in centimeters so I can tell you what that is. And then they're like, ah. I agree, it's a much better way of doing things, but I've been living in this country for a long time, and that's just how I'm used to doing things now. So you're gonna have to get used to inches. Use Google if you have any questions. I know that my paper needs to be a diameter of 1.75 inches. So what I do is I grab whatever image I want on my from the customer or from the internets, and I put that image into Procreate, and I already have a nice sort of template that has circles that are this size, and all I need to do is just fit that image in there. I add any backgrounds if I need to. So for example, for this guy I added a black background and some kind of pinkish stuff on it. I have that all planned out, and then I print it in my printer at home, and then I hand cut the circles with scissors or scissors. Why do I use scissors and not a nice hole punch machine? Let me tell you, those hole punch machines work for 2 seconds, and then the blade gets dull, and then you have all these little fuzzies like these. You can barely see it, but those little fuzzies are what makes this machine break. So not break, but like it. You remember how I said that you need to clean out these guys from dust? Those little fuzzies are the dust. They create a bunch of dust and then it gets stuck in there, and then your pins just don't come out nice. That's it. Alright, so cutting with scissors is going to make sure that those edges don't have any fuzzies on them, nothing is being torn, everything is nicely cut. Does it take more time? Yes, but it comes out much nicer. As I said, the circle does not have to be perfect. This clear thing is a perfect circle, whatever, as long as it's not sticking out from it by a whole lot, or if I show you here in the light, you can see how much smaller my circle is from this clear circle. And if you noticed anything, if you have eyes, I mentioned that this guy needs to be 1.75 inches, and this pin is not that size. It's much smaller. What is happening, what this machine does is when it sandwiches, what's going to happen is the machine is going to grab your image, it's going to grab that clear part, and it's going to put it against this backing, and it's going to fold those edges in and get them stuck behind this guy, making a nice little sandwich and making sure that those edges are holding inside. So that's why this has a little lip, right? And that's why this stuff is made of metal, so that it can bend. If you can see, it has a concave side and a convex side. So the convex side, meaning the part that is a little domed, that is where your image goes. And then the concave side has these little, it also has these little lips, and those are the ones that grab in. Such good sound effects. Am I right? So, let's get started. You have 2 chambers. Chamber number 1 is going to hold your metal plating, right? And it's going to go convex up. And the machine has a little space where it fits right in. It's a little loose in there. It's kind of moving around a little bit. But if I wanted to take this out, I would have to like pry it out of there. You see that? Oh, gravity. All right, so that's in there. Next, I grab my image put it in there. Lovely. And last but not least, I'm going to put this clear guy here. But I'm not going to put this clear guy because I've been touching it with my fingers and now it's all covered in my hands' oils and it's really nice and icky. So I'm going to get a new one. So when you order, they all come in a nice little baggie. Try not to lose this guy. You gotta carefully take it out. Put it on top of your image. I usually make sure that everything that it's not like sticking out or anything. And then you gently and surely align this top presser part to the bottom chamber, right? And this is when this machine, what I love about it is that it has a nice handle and it has a nice handle up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold from back here with this handle firmly on my table, and I'm again make sure that this is aligned, and I press it down and you hear like a little bit of a click. You kind of hear a little bit of a crunch. You don't need to press down too hard. Hopefully you're able to see that from what I just showed you. And now, da-na-na-na, it disappeared! Oh my god, it's magic! No, it's not magic. It's inside of this upper chamber. So when I press down this I'm not gonna do it again because I don't know what happens. Press it down right now. But anyways, so when I press it down, it pressed my 3 layers up into this mechanism, right? So now it's gonna like kind of be having the this metal plate, and then the paper is on top of it with the clear, and it's just like it's hugging it, and it's just kind of like it's just tucked in there, right? Next, I need to put the backing, you know, the backing with the pincher on it, and I need to make sure that the needle part is facing downwards, because right now my image is facing up, right? And I need it to be sandwiched this way, right? So what? A good key thing is to make sure that the zigzag is facing upwards, right? I also try to align it, even though I use these pins for phone cases. I keep a baggie of the ones that just aren't used for, you know, for whenever I need to go to a convention or anything, so that I have. And most people like to have their pins have the pin part be horizontal to their image. Is it just me? Am I doing this for no reason? It's your choice. I try to make sure that when I put my image into my machine, that I'm putting it facing forward or facing, you know, this way. And when I put my pin, I also make it facing that way. And I also like to put the actual like clipping part, the part like the needles facing this way, I like to face it that way. And I'll show you why. So as I said, the image and the top metal part is in this upper chamber. When I slide this guy over, the machine actually does, so magic, just think of it magic. But the top here has moved a little bit counterclockwise. It just like adjusts, and the machine knows what to do when that is aligned. I can't explain this, I don't know. It does different things, whatever. Anyways, you again hold from the back and you push it down. And now, ta-da! My pin has appeared over here on the right, all made together. So as you can see, I have the clear, the image, the metal inside backing, and now I have the back side with the pin horizontal to the image, right? Maybe it's not perfect. I'm doing this backwards, all right? So if it's not perfect, don't judge me. It is horizontal to the image, and I like it that just the pin part is facing how I desire it. The first couple of times, you know, you might not be pressing hard enough. You might have your image, maybe you cut it and it's wrong. It shouldn't break. Now, how I've seen this break, actually, this is very important because we used to have a machine back at my work and somebody broke it, and I can tell how they did break it. So let me tell you how not to do this. So first things first, when you get the bag, right, of the metal parts, sometimes, you can even see it in the bag right now, they kind of stack on top of each other. And that is dangerous because if they're stacked on top of each other like this, right, and they're kind of pressed together, and you don't notice that there's two and it looks like there's one, and you put it in this chamber and you try to make the pin, the machine's gonna get stuck because it's not, this isn't supposed, it ain't supposed to be there, it's gonna break it. So that is one way. Another way is if your paper is too thick, I use regular printer paper. I try to use as much recycled paper as possible, so when I print out labels and it's only one label on one big sheet, I keep the scraps so I'm not wasting an entire sheet for this. I try not to get too crazy with layering anything inside there. Have I made pins that are collage pieces of paper? Yes, but I would say don't go that far just at first. Do something simple so that you make sure that you don't break your machine. What's the other thing I wanted to say? Keep it clean. That will also prevent it from breaking. And let me show you what the pins look like when there's dust in here, how I said. So what the dust does, I guess, it just doesn't let the paper hug the metal part of the pin. So I tried to throw away the ones that look bad, but I kept some of them just so that you could see. So the paper is kind of like flipping up. You see that? It's Luffy. So yeah, you don't want that to happen, right? Again, little flappity lap dap. And that happened from having dust either from the actual paper or from previous papers, or dust from the air. So when that happens, all of these pieces, the plastic backing, the inner metal, and the paper are all wasted. So that's what I meant when I said you got it to make 1,000 pins, but you gonna miss a couple of them, right? It's just what it is. That's it. That's pretty much it. Now, this pace that I do this at, for example, when I'm not explaining it, is a pretty fast pace. You know, I put the thing, I put the other thing, I put the plastic on top, I make sure the appa is facing me, I make sure that everything's nice and just where it's supposed to go, turn it to the side, I press it down, place it where it goes, I pull it, and ta-da! Now when you design the image that's gonna go in here, as I said, it's gonna be 1 3/4 inches when it's a paper. So that means that some edges are going to be cut off. So for example, this one from Kakoi? The JoJo character, the little guy. As you can see, I kind of left a little bit of the design over his head because I don't want that to get cut off. So if you're ever wondering like what is gonna get cut off if you just lay a pin on top of another, you'll pretty much know. Or if you just grab the metal backing, you're going to know what is going to get cut off, right? You just have to center it, exactly. So I already know what's gonna get cut off, and that's why I made this pin design kind of like empty on the edges. This Appa one, I wish his face was a little more centralized, but it's not. But I'm happy with it because it's baby Appa. It's like when he's a little baby. He's so cute. That's it. So that's how I get all of these images on these phone cases. Now, usually when a character, it's easy for me to find a charm or like a real keychain or something that is a character I can find. For example, for Hello Kitty, it's very easy to find little Hello Kitty figures. Or this is one of the bears from Brave. Somebody ordered a Brave phone case, and then I was like, more people are gonna order Brave, and then they never did. So I have this little guy. It says Nyapcorn. So cute. Stuff like this, if it's easy to find for that character, ooh, Ponyo, you know, I won't make pins. But if it's a character that, like right now, Danganronpa is like really popular, but there isn't really any pins or keychains that are affordable for my business. I can't be spending too much money on each phone case because then I'm not making any money. But this is a really cost-effective way to include everybody's favorite characters. This happens a lot with Pokemon too. Like, there's so many Pokemon, and it's impossible for them to physically make that many Pokemon figures and them being good quality. It's very easy to find the image of that character. I really I try so hard to make sure that I'm using the artwork from the show or from the manga instead of using fan art, because those fan artists deserve money and they deserve to be paid for their work. And what I'm doing is collage work, and I've always worked with collage, so I don't feel comfortable making collage work using somebody's work who isn't getting paid for it. Pokemon's getting paid. They have money, so I understand, you know, like I can use Gengar here in a pin and put it on a phone case. Is Pokemon making decoden cases? No. So, I got you beat. I will go ahead and finish these pins and start these cases and live my life. So, thank you for watching this mess of a video. I hope it was instructive, entertaining, fun. I'll see you guys next time. Please make sure to like this video, leave a comment down below on what you would like me to show you next. Comment below if you want me to refilm this entire video and have it completely different. Let me know. Let me know how I messed up. No, I'm kidding. I don't think I messed up. I think I did a good job. I'm not gonna do this again. That was a joke. You know, if you're interested in ordering your own phone case, as always, my link is in the description. My Etsy shop is right there. You can order for any device, any theme, anytime, and I'll make it for you. Please stop apologizing for ordering things. That's the weirdest thing. Like, people are sorry that they're ordering a case and giving me money, and they're sorry, and don't be sorry. Like, this is what I do. I love it, and I want you to be happy with your case. So if you are very specific as to what you want, that's better for me, because then I have to do less thinking. This big brain works hard enough. Anywho, bye!